Welcome, cosmic explorers, to another stellar mystery. I am the Necro Historian, and this is my assistant, Tut-Tut the Tiny Terror.
Far out, man.
Oh, tonight we're going very far out. Tonight, we will leave the Earth behind because the most frightening secrets sometimes escape gravity.
If I was an astronaut, at the end of the mission, they would say, that's a wrap. Get it? A wrap because I'm a mummy?
Oh, Tut-Tut, your jokes are why aliens avoid us.
Well, you remember the last time I built us a rocket.
Yes, you blew up my lawnmower.
But it did achieve orbit. A very small, fiery orbit.
Real astronauts require discipline, training, and intelligence.
I've got 2 of those. Well, one of those. Well, I showed up. That counts, right?
Tonight's episode, The Lunar Tomb, reveals the real reason why NASA shut down the Apollo space program for good.
Is it true that in space no one can hear you scream?
Yes, that is true.
Well, no one hears me scream down here either. I want a snack! See? Nothing.
Tut-Tut, do you see that moon up there?
If it's not made of cheese, I'm not interested.
There is still a dead body up there on the moon.
Oh, okay, now I'm interested. There's a dead guy on the moon? Do we need to send a note, flowers or something?
According to the archived recordings, one astronaut's suit malfunctioned during an undocumented mission, and NASA buried the truth in the silence of space.
Wait. You're telling me our government lied to us about something this important? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Is everyone ready?
3,
2, 1. Houston, we have a problem.
The following account is derived from the deathbed confessions of Commander Eugene Harrison, dated January 5, 2017. What follows, he swore on his life, is the true reason the Apollo program ended and the secret behind the mission that never officially happened.
We were the last men on the moon. The date was July 10th, 1973. The mission, Apollo 18. The objective, apparently, was to be erased from all history books, every training photograph, every official record. The reason lay in the fate of my friend, Command Module Pilot James Merriweather. Everyone remembers Neil Armstrong. No one remembers James. Sometimes, if you look closely at heavily redacted old photos, you can just see the edge of his arm, or a boot, a spectral outline of a man scrubbed from existence. Everything started smoothly. The lunar surface felt like a playground. We were laughing at the low gravity, doing those absurd bunny hops we trained for. The dust was fine like talcum powder, weightless fun. "Look at me, Eugene! I'm Superman!" James shouted over the comms, a clear, joyous, static crackle. They were his last words. He jumped high, so high, but the landing was a disaster. He came down hard on the jagged ledge of a large crater. The impact twisted his suit's lifeline hose, crimping it tight. Oxygen hissed out into the vacuum of space. "Emergency valve, James! Hit the emergency valve!" I yelled, my heart hammering against my ribs. He reached for it. He triggered the release. In all our training simulations on Earth, this worked perfectly. We never accounted for the thin, insidious layer of lunar dust. When the valve opened, the sudden rush of air pressure sucked the ultrafine grit from the surface of his suit directly inside the oxygen loop and into his helmet. It started with a little cough, then a pause that stretched into an eternity. Then the violent choking began. Through the murky reflection of my own visor, I watched him fight, clawing at his neck seal. The coughing turned wet. A gruesome sound relayed over our private loop. Blood spattered across the inside of his helmet glass. He thrashed, seizing inside the stiff confines of his suit. I couldn't get close enough to help without potentially compromising my own seal. I had to let him be. He twitched, then slowly went still. I hauled his body, surprisingly light, like a terrible, empty mannequin, back to the capsule. "Hold on, buddy. Hold on, buddy. Almost there," I chanted, a desperate prayer. Fumbling, hysterical, I cycled the hatch. "Houston, we have a medical emergency! Repeat, we have a medical emergency!" I hauled James through the open capsule hatch. His body, a gruesome pendulum, bounced back and forth, snagging with sickening thuds on the landing gear. When I finally wrestled his body inside the cramped confines of the module and slammed the hatch shut, the clunk of the seal vibrated my teeth. I initiated cabin pressurization. I watched, a silent prayer forming in my throat, waiting for any tremor, any flicker of life. There was none. When the green light finally flared on the console, I reached for his helmet. Terror filled me at what I saw. His eyes, milky and wide, were locked in a death stare. Clumps of frozen blood marred the grotesque, swollen landscape of his face, rendering him almost unrecognizable as the man I'd shared a meal with just hours ago. The sheer horror of it all was too much to bear. Panic set in. I thought I would lose my mind. The small metal room closed in around me and offered no escape. My stomach lurched, and I suddenly felt like I could not breathe. Quickly and shakily, I sealed the helmet back in place as I struggled to not retch. Returning to the radio, I frantically explained the situation to Houston. 20 agonizing minutes of silence followed. Then the calm, clinical voice of control. "We are sorry, Eugene. There is nothing we can do. Our scientists are studying the situation, but there appears to be no solution. If you do not leave before the launch window, you will be trapped on the moon." I cried. Then, thinking at least I could bring my friend home for a hero's funeral, the next orders froze my blood. "Commander Harrison, the body cannot return. Decomposing matter releases toxic gas. You are still 3 days from Earth. We calculated that even sealed in his suit, you would suffocate in a day and a half." 2 hours. I was given 2 hours to shut down all experiments, drag Captain Merriweather back out of the only safety we had, and bury him under a pile of lunar rocks. A lonely, shameful grave. The official story was sealed by the president himself. The United States was neck and neck with the Soviets. They couldn't afford a failure, a weakness, a dead astronaut abandoned on the moon. James Merriweather became a ghost. Apollo 18 never happened. But he's still there, buried in that silent gray dust, the eternal guardian of a government secret. And I am left with his final words, ringing in my ears, echoing in the darkest void. "Look at me, Eugene. I'm Superman."
Ah, you survived tonight's tale. Dare you watch another?
Like and subscribe, or I will haunt you.